Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So you'd probably be surprised to hear that the majority of mountain rescue call-outs last year on Snowdon were on the main tourist path, the so-called easy path, and that the majority of them were actually largely avoidable had people been just a little bit more prepared. So today I want to talk to you about 5 backpacking mistakes that we are no longer going to make in 2026. So if you're new to hiking, backpacking, wild camping, or even if you've been doing this a while, these are things that will genuinely keep you safe and comfortable while out on the trail and out of a mountain rescue TikTok compilation. So let's start with the easiest mistake to avoid and the one that almost everybody still makes. Underestimating food and water. You'd be shocked at how many people start a hike with a single 500ml water bottle and a flapjack like they're popping to the shop, not climbing a mountain, or even worse, not taking anything at all. Hiking a mountain takes a lot out of you, especially if it's something that you've never done before. And a lot of people become fatigued because they haven't ate properly the night before and they don't take enough food and water out on the trail with them. So what I do is I have a good carb and protein filled meal the night before the hike and then a light breakfast on the morning of the hike. Then when I'm on the trail, I usually have light snacks at hand throughout the day to help keep my sugars elevated and to make sure I have enough energy to get me through the hike. Then when I stop at the summit, I usually have something like a sandwich and some snack bars to help fuel the rest of the hike. For water, I usually take about 1.5 litres in the winter and about 3 litres in the summer, and I sip on it all throughout the day. You should also consider some hydration powder as well that you can add to your water to replace those essential electrolytes as well. And if you're hiking in places with streams, you should also consider taking a little water filter with you as well. They weigh next to nothing and they could literally save your hike. Also, don't be that person who eats all the snacks in the car before the hike even starts. Mistake number 2 is wearing clothing that completely sabotages you. You don't need expensive gear, but you do need the right layers and the right materials. Cotton is great for the sofa, but absolutely terrible for the mountains. It holds on to moisture like it's collecting it for a science experiment, and then it'll rob that heat from your body. 2026 is the year that we stop dressing for how cold we are in the car park and start dressing for how hot we will be 15 minutes into the hike. Start cold, warm up naturally, and bring layers that you can remove and add easily. So as a minimum, you should be taking a breathable base layer, a fleecy mid layer, a light packable down jacket, a waterproof jacket, waterproof trousers, and some hat, gloves, and a buff. And I almost forgot a good set of well-fitted hiking boots as well. Let 2026 be the year that we stop hiking in trainers. Okay, mistake number 3 gets people every single weekend, and that is solely relying on your phone for navigation. The phone dies, signal disappears, the screen will crack, and the cold weather drains your battery fast. And then suddenly your easy walk turns into a 3-hour panic session. So here's what we're going to do in 2026 instead. We're going to carry a power bank for emergencies. We're going to download the maps offline for when we don't have signal, and we're going to learn how to read an actual map. Yes, the paper kind. If you can scroll on TikTok for an hour straight, you can definitely learn 3 basic navigation skills with a map and compass. So this one might be the most important mistake on the list, and it's the easiest one to fix. Emergency gear is like insurance. You hope that you'll never need it, but you'll be very glad that you have it when you do. Especially a head torch. People still get stuck descending mountains in the dark using only their phone torch. Please don't be that person. As a quickfire list, here's what I carry in my backpack. I've got an emergency whistle, a head torch, an emergency foil blanket, spare clothing, an emergency shelter, a spare power bank, and all of this takes up next to no space in your backpack and will literally weigh next to nothing. And finally, this is the mistake that everybody overlooks until they need it. Carrying a first aid kit. You don't need a huge kit, just the basics like blister plasters, bandages, antiseptic wipes, painkillers, and tape. I found out the hard way that blisters can turn an amazing day out into an absolute misery very quickly. A twisted ankle can leave you stuck miles from your car, but carrying a little first aid kit can help turn a disaster into a mild inconvenience. Plus, you become that helpful person in the group that everybody wants to hike with. So those are 5 backpack mistakes that we're avoiding in 2026. None of this is complicated, and that is kind of the point. A little preparation turns a tough day into an amazing one and will help keep you off a mountain rescue stretcher. If you found this video helpful, drop a like, and if you're new here, hit that subscribe button and tell me in the comments a backpacker mistake that you have made. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one.